It's a Living. Come on, everybody, let's get to work. Tonight on It's a Living.
Here's the part I like. You're a very smart man. A tribute to Paul Shaffer, hosted by
Well,
Paul.
I said I would host it.
We go to work in New York City.
I can talk to the man on this mic really softly, as long as he doesn't hear me. Paul, oh, what are you doing, you know? And once, you know, he said, you're doing a show for the CBC over there while I'm trying to do my show, you know?
And then we go home to Thunder Bay.
I'm going to just turn left now into Paul Shaffer Drive.
For a big tribute
to one of the hippest cats in show business!
And we meet a woman who's climbed a ladder right to the top. It's a living. Work. It's a living. Come on, everybody, let's get to work. Work.
And now, two-time Gemini Award winner, the hardest working man in the TV business today, Peter Jordan.
It's a living. What does it take to make the crowd go wild? Step out with the stars. Be a leader in the music world. And even get a street in your hometown named after you.
Well, if you happen to be Paul Shaffer, it sure helps, and that's who we have the pleasure of working with today.
And we'll be with Paul for
The most exciting night of my life. And I'll tell you why.
But first, we're working in New York with one of the best-known faces on late-night TV. New York City, the Big Apple, where Paul Shaffer has taken a big bite out of late-night television. And as the king of late-night sidekicks, he gets to go to work in a pretty unique office.
All right, so this is 53rd Street backstage entrance to the Ed Sullivan Theater. And when you think about it, you know, this is the same entrance that Topo Gigio, you know, used to walk through.
The Beatles, would they have come through here?
Forget the Beatles. Topo Gigio. And you look up there, you see that balcony, you may recognize where the girls were screaming for the Beatles.
Did you ever think you'd end up here?
No, not in a million years. Not in a million years.
Paul's come a long way from his start in the Lakeport town of Thunder Bay, Ontario. His first band, The Fugitives, were a runaway hit in the local music scene. But it was in Toronto as musical director on the hit play Godspell that he got his big break with a bunch of other newcomers. Martin Short, Eugene Levy, and Gilda Radner. Then on to New York City and 5 years on Saturday Night Live. Since then, he's been in movies from cult favorite Spinal Tap to the Blues Brothers. He's worked with everyone from Yoko Ono to Barry Manilow. He's written #1 dance hits, and he's even won a Grammy with bluegrass legend Earl Scruggs. But it's thanks to 20 years on The Late Show that he's been paid the ultimate New York City compliment.
Here it is.
Our hero has a hero sandwich named after him.
One full Shaffer, please.
What sells more, the Letterman or the Shaffer sandwich?
No, by far the Shaffer. That's our #1 sandwich. Actually, he wanted to change it to a turkey sandwich.
Oh.
But, you know, my reasoning to Paul was, gosh, Paul, everyone's always screaming out this sandwich, so why not stick with it? And he says, well, okay, we might as well.
Whatever
Since
sells.
It's working, yeah.
And he's outselling Letterman, so
That's
I mean,
right.
something's going right.
Dave is here, you know, but they cover the desk.
Paul's workday starts hours before Dave takes his seat at the desk.
You do that, and then you turn that on. And you're in the Young Rascals.
When Paul's in his office, he's surrounded by the vintage keyboards that give him his trademark sound.
Or it sounds like a string.
He's responsible for every note played on the show, from the opening
Now this is the way the show starts.
to the music in and out of commercial breaks.
So you would write all of these stings, or at least arrange them, would you not? Is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes I write them. Sometimes I think of a song that's apt that I can just change a few words, and maybe that'll be funny.
It's an hour before showtime and one of the most important parts of Paul's day. He and his band, the CBS Orchestra, are running through all the music for tonight's show. Every musician has been handpicked by Paul, and they all say the same thing as guitarist Felicia Collins.
I know that any job after this is downhill. You can't get any better than working with a guy like him, because he's so talented, he's so brilliant, and then he's like the nicest, kindest, most wonderful, interesting person you ever met, you know? And he loves the biz. Paul has been inducted in the National Black Sports and Entertainers Hall of Fame.
And this is the ring.
There you go.
Paul and the band are famous for being able to play everything with everybody.
Today, we have a guest who's going to sit in with us, and it happens to be the great Sam Moore from Sam and Dave. There he is, direct from Cancun.
Sam Moore is one of the original soul men, and coincidentally the inspiration for another group close to Paul's heart, the Blues Brothers. Tonight, Sam's singing the blues for laughs.
I've been here so long studying all the greats. I've gotten to play for so many of the people that I idolized as a kid.
Something like that.
Paul is still amazed by the number of musicians who want to sit in with him in the band.
The first guy to do it was the sax player from Supertramp, actually. It was his idea. And then it kind of caught on. And the next thing you know, Eric Clapton's sitting in with my band playing Will It Float? And then it exploded and everybody wanted to sit in.
It's not just the musicians who love working with Paul. So do everyday co-workers like floor director and sometime cast member Biff Henderson.
He's a great guy. As we all know, he's a great musician. He's talented with his sense of humor, I feel, and his wit. And, you know, he's like me. Most of us guys with bald heads, we kind of stick together, you know what I mean?
But it's Paul's ability to stay cool under any conditions that impresses stagehand Pat Farmer.
One of my favorite stories is we had to hang Paul from a meat hook in a meat cooler. And he said, Paul, I'm so sorry, I wish we could make this easier for you. He said, I'm fine, just get me up there. We'll get it over with and we'll get the hell out of here. He was so cool. He's like that all the time.
It's late night in New York City. Well, actually, it's not that late. While the rest of the city is heading home through rush hour traffic, Paul and the crew get to work on the daily 5 o'clock taping.
From New York, the greatest city in the world, it's The Late Show with David Letterman, Paul Shaffer, and the CBS Orchestra.
And sitting in with the band, Paul, introduce your friend over there.
The finest vocalist.
While music direction is a huge part of his job, Paul has to juggle it with his role as talk show sidekick. Here's the secret.
I put these in, you know, right in here. And I hear everything. They protect my ears because I'm deaf as a doornail.
Oh, no kidding.
35 years of rock and roll.
Right.
So these protect, you know, from the drum, from the cymbals and stuff. But I also hear, like a Walkman, I hear what I need to hear. I hear Dave's voice, clear as a bell.
Okay.
And even while the show is on, I can talk to the band on this mic really softly. You know, as long as he doesn't hear me. He'll still catch me, you know, because I really have to have my eyes on him at all times.
Because that's another really big part of your job, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a straight man.
Yeah.
And sometimes he will be telling a story, and he'll want to tell a story to me.
Right.
And I might be saying it's the second bar is G flat. Paul, oh, what are you doing? You know. And once, you know, he said, you're doing a show for the CBC over there while I'm trying to do my show. You know. Now, if you ask me what America means to me.
Dave likes to poke fun at his Canadian straight man, but he was the first to break the news to the world about Paul's big honor.
Release a tribute to Paul Shaffer.
I know, can you believe it?
Saturday, September 21st at the Community Auditorium in Thunder Bay.
My hometown.
On Paul Shaffer Drive.
Well, they're naming the street in front of, I know, it's a huge honor. They're naming the street in front of the Community Auditorium after me, Paul Shaffer Drive.
Here's the part I like. You're a very smart man. A tribute to Paul Shaffer, hosted by
Well,
Paul
I said I would host I used to say my ambition is to get a job where when I start a song, I keep playing. instead of actually just fading out. But now I realize I should try to hold on to this job. This has been fun.
Thank you very much, Paul. Pablo.
When It's a Living returns, we're riding along with Paul Shaffer when he goes home to Thunder Bay.
Turn left now into Paul Shaffer Drive.
The favorite son comes home.
It's the most exciting night of my life.
And I'm pretty sure his excitement doesn't have anything to do with me playing tic-tacs in his band.